Every generation has believed that better technology would reveal the next great secret. When microscopes improved, we discovered cells. When submarines reached the deepest oceans, hidden ecosystems emerged. When spacecraft left Earth, entire worlds appeared before our eyes. History has conditioned us to believe one simple idea. If we can't see something today, we'll probably see it tomorrow. It's an inspiring belief. But what if, for the first time in human history, tomorrow changes nothing? Imagine standing on a beach just before sunrise. Far out at sea, the horizon forms a perfect line. It feels like the edge of the world. But you already know the truth. There is no wall waiting for you. No cliff where the ocean suddenly ends. The horizon exists for only one reason. Your vision has reached its limit. Walk 10 kilometers forward, and the horizon moves with you. Sail across an entire ocean, and it moves again. No matter how far you travel, you never arrive at the horizon itself. Now replace the ocean with the universe. Replace the horizon with light. And suddenly, one of the strangest ideas in modern cosmology begins to make sense. The observable universe is not the entire universe. It's simply the portion whose light has had enough time to reach us. That distinction changes everything. Most people unconsciously imagine the observable universe as if it were a gigantic sphere floating in empty space. Almost like a bubble with a physical surface. But there is no shell. No cosmic barrier. No invisible wall. If you could somehow teleport to a galaxy tens of billions of light years away, something remarkable would happen. You wouldn't find yourself standing near the edge of existence. Instead, you would discover an entirely new observable universe centered around you. The cosmic horizon would follow you, just as the horizon at sea follows every sailor. Every observer carries their own window into reality. Earth isn't located at the center of the universe. Neither is any galaxy. The center exists only from the perspective of the observer. This idea is so counterintuitive that many people reject it the first time they hear it. We're used to thinking in maps. Maps have borders. Countries have borders. Continents have coastlines. Even planets have surfaces. The universe doesn't offer us that comfort. Its greatest boundary isn't a place. It's a condition. A limit defined not by location, but by information. That realization leads to an unsettling possibility. There may be galaxies whose light will never reach us. Not in 1,000 years. Not in 1,000,000. Not even if humanity survives until the last stars burn out. Because while light is racing toward us, space itself is changing. The stage beneath the actors is expanding. Imagine trying to walk up a downward moving escalator. You keep moving forward, but the staircase carries you backward at the same time. Walk fast enough, and you'll reach the top. Walk too slowly, and you'll never make progress. Now imagine the escalator gradually speeding up forever. Eventually, even your fastest possible pace would no longer be enough. That's astonishingly close to what's happening across the universe. Light is always moving, always carrying information, always trying to bridge unimaginable distances. But the fabric of space between galaxies is stretching. In some regions, it stretches so relentlessly that certain light signals will simply never complete their journey. Not because they stop, not because they weaken, but because the destination keeps receding faster than the message can close the gap. Think about what that really means. At this very moment, countless events may be unfolding somewhere beyond our cosmic horizon. Stars being born, galaxies colliding, black holes merging, perhaps even civilizations asking the very same questions we ask. Their history is unfolding. Our history is unfolding. Yet neither side may ever know the other existed. Not because of war, not because of distance alone, but because the universe itself has separated our stories. This is one of the loneliest ideas in science. Reality may be vastly richer than anything we will ever observe, not hidden by darkness, but by time, distance, and the relentless expansion of space. For centuries, humanity feared monsters beyond the edge of the map. Today we know something even stranger. Beyond the edge of our vision, there may simply be more universe. Far more. And we may never receive a single message from it. But that raises an even deeper mystery. If the observable universe is only our local window, how enormous could the whole universe actually be? The answer is where science begins to blur into one of the greatest mysteries ever contemplated by the human mind.
Hey guys, a quick pause before we keep going. If you're enjoying the video so far, show our channel some love. Leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. When you interact, like, and leave a comment, it lets us know that you're liking our work. That's what motivates us to keep bringing you more cool videos. So go ahead and comment down below what you're thinking, and let's get back to the video.
For most of human history, we assumed the universe was random. Stars scattered across the sky. Galaxies drifting through endless emptiness. A little chaos here. A little order there. Nothing more. It was an understandable assumption. After all, when you stand beneath a clear night sky, the stars don't seem organized. They appear sprinkled across the darkness almost carelessly, like grains of sand thrown into the wind. But appearances can be dangerously misleading. Imagine flying over Earth for the very first time. From high enough above the clouds, cities begin to disappear. Roads vanish. Bridges become invisible. At first glance, everything below looks random. Tiny lights scattered across a dark planet. But descend a little lower, and patterns begin to emerge. Highways connect distant places. Rivers carve predictable paths. Entire civilizations reveal an invisible order that simply couldn't be seen from farther away. Astronomers experienced something remarkably similar. As telescopes improved and sky surveys became more ambitious, scientists began plotting the positions of galaxies across the observable universe. At first, they expected something fairly simple. A roughly even distribution. Perhaps a few clusters here and there. Instead, they uncovered something astonishing. The universe wasn't random. It was connected. Galaxies weren't floating aimlessly through space. They gathered. They formed chains. Those chains merged into enormous filaments stretching across hundreds of millions of light years. Where those filaments intersected, gigantic clusters of galaxies emerged. Between them, vast regions contained almost nothing at all. Not empty in the absolute sense, but astonishingly empty compared to everything around them. Imagine looking at the foam floating on the surface of a bubble bath. The soap gathers into thin walls. Tiny bubbles form in closed spaces. Most of the material isn't spread evenly. It's concentrated along delicate boundaries. Now imagine scaling that pattern up. Not thousands, not millions, but billions of light years. The largest known structure in existence doesn't resemble a collection of islands. It resembles a web. A cosmic web. A framework so immense that individual galaxies become almost insignificant. Picture every galaxy you've ever heard of. The Milky Way. Andromeda. Whirlpool. Sombrero. Each one containing hundreds of billions of stars. Now imagine treating every one of those galaxies as though it were nothing more than a single glowing thread woven into an unimaginably vast tapestry. Suddenly, galaxies stop being destinations. They become building materials. And that's when a disturbing thought begins to emerge. Structures usually have architects. Buildings have designers. Bridges have engineers. Computer networks have programmers. When people first saw maps of the cosmic web, many couldn't help asking the same question. Who arranged this? The answer surprised everyone. No one did. Gravity did. Tiny fluctuations left over from the earliest moments of cosmic history slowly grew over billions of years. Matter gathered where gravity pulled slightly harder. Little by little, those tiny differences became galaxies. Galaxies became clusters. Clusters became filaments. And filaments formed the largest known architecture in the observable universe. No blueprint, No construction crew. No intention. Only the quiet persistence of gravity acting over unimaginable spans of time. And yet, despite understanding how this architecture formed, scientists encountered another mystery. Something invisible appeared to be holding much of it together. The galaxies were moving too fast. Clusters contained far more gravity than their visible matter could produce. It was as though an unseen scaffold surrounded the entire cosmic web. An invisible framework, supporting everything we could actually observe. Astronomers gave this mystery a name: dark matter. Not because they knew what it was, but because they knew something unseen had to be there. Even today, we still don't know its true nature. Think about that for a moment. Everything you've ever seen, every planet, every star, every nebula, every galaxy, may represent only a small fraction of what actually exists. The luminous universe, the beautiful universe, the universe we photograph and admire, might simply be the visible surface of something far larger and far stranger. It's a humbling realization. The greatest structures ever discovered may not even be built from the matter we understand best. And if invisible matter shapes the architecture of the cosmos, what else might be hiding beneath reality? Because the deeper scientists looked, the more the universe began to resemble something that wasn't just enormous. It was incomplete, as if every answer uncovered an even larger question waiting behind it. Human history is filled with impossible questions. People once wondered what lay beyond the ocean, whether the earth had an edge, what caused lightning, whether invisible creatures spread disease. For centuries, those mysteries seemed permanent, until they weren't. Curiosity kept pushing forward. Ships crossed unknown seas. Microscopes revealed invisible worlds. Telescopes expanded the boundaries of the sky. Again and again, humanity proved a remarkable point. Today's mystery often becomes tomorrow's textbook. It's tempting to believe that this process never ends, that every unanswered question is simply waiting for better technology. A larger telescope, a faster spacecraft, a more powerful computer. But modern cosmology introduces an unsettling possibility. Some questions may remain unanswered forever. Not because scientists lack intelligence, not because civilization will stop progressing, but because reality itself refuses to provide the information. Think about that carefully. Throughout history, ignorance has usually been temporary. This may be different. Imagine reading a novel where the final chapters have been permanently removed. No matter how carefully you study the pages you still possess, the ending is gone. You can make educated guesses. You can compare clues. You can build elegant theories. But certainty will always remain out of reach. That may be our relationship with the universe. The observable universe is not merely what we happen to see today. It may represent the maximum amount of information nature will ever allow us to receive. Everything beyond that horizon continues to exist. Perhaps. But existence alone doesn't guarantee accessibility. The universe doesn't owe us complete knowledge. And perhaps that is its most humbling lesson. Science is extraordinarily powerful. It has explained eclipses, decoded DNA, measured black holes, detected gravitational waves, photographed planets orbiting distant stars. Yet one of its greatest strengths is often misunderstood. Science doesn't promise certainty. It promises honesty. When evidence ends, science doesn't invent answers. It accepts uncertainty. That willingness to say, "We don't know," is not a weakness. It's one of the greatest intellectual achievements humanity has ever developed. Because false certainty has always been easier than honest doubt. And the universe constantly rewards humility. The more we discover, the larger the unknown becomes. Every breakthrough opens another frontier. Every solved mystery reveals deeper mysteries hiding behind it. It's like climbing a mountain. From the valley, Your horizon feels enormous. Reach the summit. And suddenly you realize there are countless mountains beyond the one you just conquered. Knowledge doesn't shrink mystery. It often expands it. Perhaps that's why the greatest astronomers rarely describe themselves as people who possess answers. They describe themselves as explorers. Not because they know where the journey ends, but because they understand it probably doesn't. There is something strangely beautiful about that idea. Imagine if humanity actually solved every mystery. Every equation completed. Every phenomenon explained. Every corner of reality mapped forever. Would curiosity survive? Or would the universe become little more than an enormous instruction manual? Instead, we inhabit a cosmos that constantly resists complete understanding. A universe that invites questions faster than it supplies answers. That resistance isn't our enemy. It's the reason exploration continues. It's the reason children still look upward. It's the reason observatories continue to rise on remote mountaintops. It's the reason new telescopes are built decades before the old ones stop working. Not because scientists expect the final answer, but because every new observation has the potential to completely rewrite what we thought we knew. And history suggests that it probably will. Again, and again, and again. Because the most dangerous sentence in science has never been, "We don't know." It's been, "We already know enough." Every civilization that believed it had reached the limits of knowledge eventually discovered how wrong it was. Perhaps we will too. Or perhaps, for the first time, we've encountered a boundary that no civilization can ever cross. Not a wall built from stone. Not a barrier built by technology. But a horizon woven into the fabric of reality itself. If that's true, then the greatest mystery in existence isn't hidden somewhere beyond the stars. It's hidden behind the simple question that has followed humanity since the beginning. How much of reality can any intelligent species ever truly know? For thousands of years, people have looked up at the night sky searching for answers. Some saw gods. Others saw myths. Some searched for navigation. Others searched for destiny. Today, we search for something different. Understanding. Yet after everything we've explored together, from our own sun to the edge of the observable universe, one truth stands above all the numbers. The universe did something extraordinary. It created a species capable of wondering about its own existence. Think about that for a moment. The atoms inside your body were forged inside ancient stars that lived and died billions of years ago. The oxygen you breathe, the calcium in your bones, the iron flowing through your blood. None of it was present when the universe began. Every one of those elements was born inside stars that no longer exist. In a very literal sense, the universe became conscious enough to ask questions about itself. Through us. That doesn't make humanity the center of the cosmos. But it does make consciousness one of its rarest and most remarkable phenomena. Somewhere among trillions of galaxies, on a small rocky planet orbiting an ordinary star, the universe learned to look back. Maybe we're alone. Maybe we're one civilization among countless others. Right now, science doesn't know. And the honest answer is that nobody does. But whether intelligence is rare or incredibly common, every civilization would face the same sky, the same mysteries, the same endless horizon. Perhaps somewhere beyond our observable universe, another civilization is asking the exact same questions, wondering whether anyone else exists, looking toward a horizon they can never cross. Just as we are, we'll probably never know. And somehow, that makes the universe feel even larger, not because of its size, but because of its possibilities. The greatest discovery humanity may ever make isn't finding another planet, or another galaxy, or even another form of life. It may simply be realizing how much beauty exists in questions that remain unanswered. Because curiosity has never depended on certainty. It has always depended on wonder. So the next time you step outside on a clear night, pause for a moment. Don't rush to identify constellations. Don't reach for your phone. Just look. Every point of light has traveled across space for years. Sometimes centuries. Sometimes millions. Or even billions of years. Simply to reach your eyes. You're not just looking across distance. You're looking across history. Across time. Across the greatest story ever written. And in this brief moment, before the light continues its endless journey, you become part of that story too. If this journey changed the way you see the universe, then this is only the beginning. There are still black holes that challenge the laws of physics. Invisible forces shaping entire galaxies. Worlds unlike anything in our solar system. And questions so strange that even the brightest scientists on Earth still debate their answers. Those are the journeys waiting ahead. So if you enjoy exploring the biggest mysteries science has to offer, subscribe and join us. Because the next question might completely change the way you see reality. Until next time, keep looking up. The universe has been telling its story for nearly 14 billion years. We're only beginning to learn how to listen. If you enjoyed this type of content, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. In future videos, you'll delve even deeper into the mysteries of humanity.